It's been 80.
Bum, 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 bum,
The HoloNet Marauders.
Hey, everybody! If you were there early enough, you started to hear Jack say it's been 82 years. So we were all laughing off camera at that. But how's it going? How's it going, chat? How's it going, Jamie, Matt, and Jack?
Hello there.
Hey.
Another Thursday night here
Yep.
on HoloNet, talking about Book of Boba Fett.
9 p.m.
Yeah, I have a question for the chat when we get more people in here. But what's everyone's thoughts on the 9 p.m. Eastern start time? I find myself just sitting around. Like Jamie and I eat dinner, and then we're like, oh, we still have like 2 hours to go till the stream. But
we literally tonight we watched Rebels instead, and then we're like, oh, okay, let's rewatch.
And then
the
we watched
episode.
Boba Fett.
And then we still had time to kill, and we're like,
and then I still
what do
just
we
sat
do?
around like
what do we do?
doing nothing. So like,
And then rushed to get the stream ready.
yeah.
What's
But here we
your
are
schedule?
with the 9 p.m. schedule.
Mm.
I don't know how many of you in the chat are West Coast or not. I feel like we have a lot of West Coast people, so it benefits them because it's 6 p.m., right?
This is my thought process. I wanted to do the 9 p.m.s because, first of all, I wanted to do the day after so more people can watch the show, and so then we can actually talk about it with you
I
guys.
like that.
And then as a person who works in 9 to 5, I think that it helps when
Gives you breathing
you
time
think about
after.
it after work and whatnot. And plus, like, we all have jobs here at the HoloNet Marauders and aren't just that, so we need the extra time. Yes, Matt.
What are your thoughts?
So Thursday is my long day when we start going back into the office, and I work 11 to 7. So
9 is good.
9 is good for me.
9 is good.
So it's that between all of us and the chat, it looks like 9 works. So we'll keep doing 9. And if you guys, we'll just spend the whole hour just talking about our schedule instead of Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
We
I think
could.
that'd be fun.
I got
We could.
more. I got more.
We were planning out the podcast for next week. So that's gonna be fun. I'll give a tease. We're gonna build a janitor. So that's
That's
that.
not it. That's the
Yes.
whole premise.
That's the
You
whole
didn't
thing.
tease
That's
it.
the whole plot.
It's a tease.
Okay.
It's like saying Solo is about the Kessel Run.
Let's keeping the whole galaxy moving.
I have a fun reference
One
for that
particular
when we
part
get
of
to
it
it.
moving.
What are our jobs? Do we feel like answering that? We'll just say Jamie and Matt work.
You can be vague. If you
Jamie,
want.
Matt, and Jack work.
I do
9 to
online
5s, I
marketing,
believe.
so I do online marketing. I work from home. That's
I work
that's
11 to
that.
7.
Yeah,
So
Work
you
from
can
home,
work
9 to
from
5.
home.
Just a tech support job.
And
yeah.
I freelance write, and it's fun sometimes.
I
And
fluctuate
sometimes it's
between
stressful.
Sometimes it's
going
stressful.
in and working at home. But Thursday might be my
actually
going in
am-
day. So
I'm a professional HoloNet Marauder, so
yeah, we all
that's
are.
my job.
That's our
Come
number
on.
one job. These are our
100%,
secondary
yeah.
jobs we're talking about.
Yeah. This
We're
is the
we're
real
HoloNet
deal.
Marauders 24/7, not 9 to 5.
I have a question for everyone. Because
Matt, you left your ID badge at our house, by the way.
You did.
So
Yes, I did.
You've been missing.
you can't get back into the office next time you're
I
here.
hope you don't
This
get
is
pulled
bad.
over.
He's got to
This is
sweet
bad.
talk the security guard. That's what.
Oh no!
That's the security guard, the guy back there.
All right, I'll have to avoid him.
You just got to
We
practice
never-
your Arthurian.
We never got to Breaking Bad, guys, but we love Breaking Bad.
Last week?
3/4 of us love Breaking Bad, and one of us hasn't seen Breaking Bad. you can-
Who hasn't seen Breaking Bad?
Jack, I'll give you one guess.
Oh no.
He's waiting
Come
for Saul,
on.
Better Call Saul to finish. It's a
Yeah.
power move
That's
So-
right. Dude, I can't watch
for Marauders.
Breaking
All
Bad.
right. Well,
without
I mean,
having
good to
watched
know
Better
because
Call
I certainly
Saul.
wouldn't want to spoil that for you, even
I
though
don't
it's
care.
been quite a
Great
while.
show. Probably my favorite show. I've watched it 3 times. Jamie's watched it like 5 times.
Yeah.
The last
And,
time I
yeah.
tried
Yeah.
to rewatch it, I got very sad by the time I hit season 5, and I was just thinking about how far they had fallen as like everyone
Yeah.
involved, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
You go through all the stages of grief, but then you finally understand everyone's like motivations along the way. Like rewatching Breaking Bad, like Skylar becomes a really good character. Like rewatching it more, you're just like, oh wow, like she, like Anna Gunn, whew, really good.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
But my question, I posed this question on Twitter earlier. Every week I try to have a good question for people to answer on Twitter, and they all get great traction and responses. But today's question was, what Star Wars character would be... How did I word it? What Star Wars character would be the most Mountain Dew Dorito gamer? You know what I mean. You know what I mean when I say that.
My
So,
answer won, but you guys should go first.
Let's start with Matt.
Don't start with me.
Who eats a lot of
I
Doritos, drinks a
can't-
lot of
I
Mountain
can't
Dew,
say
and
what
plays a
mine
lot of
is.
video games?
I would
Do you want me to
go.
say mine?
Well, you already
Oh.
showed me one of the answers from Twitter.
True.
I'm gonna say Ezra Bridger would be on that
That's
Oh.
from dusk till dawn.
I feel like you
Yeah.
could say any of
Okay.
the Rebels crew, and that's a win.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
Sabine would be right there next
Sabine
to him,
would be.
split
Yeah.
screen co-oping.
I'm saying Sebulba.
Oh,
He's got pro goggles on.
he doesn't lose.
wins.
He's a pro gamer. He's a pro
Sorry,
gamer.
you triggered
He
a
easily is.
natural response anytime I hear an episode 1 quote that features Watto.
I said immediately Wrecker because he would only drink Code Red Mountain Dew, but any kind of Doritos. And then there would always be like a fuss, like if they didn't have Code Red, and everyone just be like, well, you're going to suffer, but you're going to be happy about it, and you're
it's
just going
in-
to drink what we have.
It's in Gonki. He's
Oh.
in the fridge.
Gonki
Poe
just
would
like,
definitely be that guy who like you swear is hacking because he keeps getting those headshots and it's just it's bullshit.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm gonna go. I haven't even answered this question on Twitter even. I'll go Fennec Shand. I don't know why.
Fennec Shand.
I can see her
Mountain
laying
Dew and
laid
Doritos?
back. Just yeah.
Yeah,
You say
that
doing
shooter
Doritos?
You know,
instinct does
in this
translate well to
episode-
Call of Duty.
She was
In the-
she was like, "Hey Boba, why aren't you stuffing your fat face
Yeah.
like I am?"
in this
So-
episode,
that vibe.
she was eating a chicken leg with her gloves
With
on,
leather gloves.
That's how you do
which
it.
Imagine the Cheeto dust on there.
Well, that's
But then
the thing,
like
you don't wanna
she
get
has
it
to
on your
touch her
hand.
rifle.
this is cross contamination. The thing with gloves,
Gasgano
you
was
got to
a
put
great
on a new
answer.
pair every single time you're going to do something different. That's just how it works. If you're eating greasy chicken, suddenly it's everywhere, and I can't wrap my head around
Hard
this.
case.
It's leather.
Hard case would be Doritos and Mountain Dew all day. That is all that
that's
boy
true.
eats.
I
Wait a
went
minute,
I
wait a
went with
minute.
Gasgano for my cafe answer, so I couldn't do that for Doritos.
Who is literally Mr. Baja Blast himself.
Hauser, I'm
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
that shirt today.
Literally Hauser.
Hey.
Easy answer.
Shout out to Only Hope Supply Company. Great shirts.
Hey, I didn't mean to like reference that, but hey, here
There
we
we
are.
are. I chose
I
my
didn't even know
shirt
you were
today
wearing
for a
that.
reason too.
I was hidden.
We'll get
I
to
like your
Boba now.
Lando shirt.
I'm wearing
I like
HoloNet Marauders.
Hey.
it. I'm
That's
wearing
the best shirt there.
nothing.
It's a very
'cause
comfortable
I
shirt.
hopped on
Highly
here.
recommend.
I wore this because we saw a lot of style today.
Yeah.
Yes, we
this
did.
week in Book
A lot of
Boba Fett.
color.
Yeah.
One
A lot
might
of color.
say.
So I had to pop
color.
with the yellow.
Oh boy, did we.
So let's dive into it. Book of Boba Fett,
We
Chapter
got-
3, The Streets of Mos Espa. Great
We gotta
name.
promise to not jump too far.
Yeah.
No,
No, no,
we
no,
gotta,
no.
we'll start at the beginning.
It'll probably
it
happen, but
on
we
the
can try.
streets.
We'll keep it on the streets.
We'll keep
street.
it
I
on
did
the
find it
streets.
was funny. It almost immediately went to not Mos Espa, and instead actually Mos Eisley, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Which I thought was kind of funny. Like it started out with the streets of Mos Espa, but then immediately we were brought to the streets of Mos Eisley instead.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That is a
We
good
go to
point.
the
what a
streets of
cool
Mos
scene!
Eisley.
When
Full
you
of
see
little
bits.
Pelimoto,
You see
Yeah.
Pelham
Helmets.
and you see the helmets.
Holy
Yeah.
crap! You're right.
In the
That is Mos
flashback.
Eisley. Why didn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't put two and two together. on
There
that.
she is.
hey,
Nice.
Yay.
You were
With
ready
the
to go.
droids. I was. Hey, look, the stream was late today because I was getting all these photos.
That's right. For you, for our watching
Yeah.
public.
let's just be. That's the answer.
Give you
there.
another one.
Oh man, that guy you want to mute immediately on voice chat.
But yeah, it's interesting that like you bring up that they jumped immediately to Mos Eisley after you see the reveal that it's the streets of Mos Espa, because if anything, this episode had a really big issue with pacing. For
It
me,
was odd.
Yes.
Well, in the
It
middle
it
at
was
least.
it was
yeah.
all over the place. Like in terms of it, like some places, some of it like went really slow, but happened to be going really fast at the same time. You know what I mean? And then there was other just like bits of it. It just felt like really rushed. And then like there was just a lot of logistically a lot of weird cuts, and I got a lot of pacing things with this. But other than that, I had a
Black
Well,
fun
yeah, I
time.
mean,
Kind
I
of,
agree with that because, like I said, like the
jump-started the
title is
pace.
supposed to be about Mos Espa, and we're immediately brought to Mos Eisley instead,
Right.
and it felt jarring that like that sounded like okay, present day, and then like I usually expect the past stuff to be coming in the back end, so it was surprising that came up first, but. Still cool. I mean, I like that we got to hear the name of the Klatooinian swoop bike gang, the
Yeah.
Kinton Striders,
Yeah.
which I didn't know that was the name of one of the pieces.
Do you
on
guys
the
know what a
guitar
Kitson
chords.
Strider is?
There it
Yeah,
is.
I learned
It's one
that
of these.
from that
And
because
that's, and that's their logo on the vest. Yeah.
yeah.
And the
Love
K
it.
makes sense that they're painting because of that.
Yeah.
So-
We've cracked the case.
It's all coming
Last
together.
week, Last week I complained
Oh,
that
yeah.
this biker gang had just said like Tatooine on the back of their jackets, and they were
So
the Tatooine
That's the
biker
Tatooine
gang.
chapter.
Imagine calling yourself like the bishops or something. I don't know. It still doesn't work right for me. Like naming
Well,
yourself after a chess piece. That's not very intimidating.
But the chess piece isn't. I mean, you're thinking
Or the
of
kings.
how chess pieces of our world are based off of like Holy Roman Emperor kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
for them, their chess pieces are based off of different monsters. So
Yeah.
it just happens to also be a Dejaric piece. I think that's more coincidence than anything else.
yeah,
Isn't
I
that
think-
the name of the monster, a Kinton?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's
It's
super
interesting.
cool that they have it that way because, like, it just AJ just mentioned the Kings from Fallout New Vegas, but like if you think about that, like all the little gangs in Fallout, we
love
have the
them.
Tunnel Snakes, the Kings,
The
we have the
Tunnel Snakes.
Atom Cats, like
Those guys are pretty intimidating.
like
Tunnel pawns.
I know, right? I think that it's really cool, like hearing that, like we actually have like a name of that biker gang, so the Kinton Striders. So if it says, if you think like a classic, I wish I had an image of this, I didn't grab one, but if we had like an image of like the Sons of Anarchy vest, and so the top it is like what it is, so like the club Sons of Anarchy. So in this sense, the Kinton Striders, the logo in the middle, and the underneath rocker Tatooine, which because everything is by planet here instead of like city, because they run the entire planet, not just in this case Mos Eisley or Anchorhead, I guess.
So why were
cool.
they spray painting KK?
Kinson,
I didn't
Kinson.
Oh right, okay. I forgot that was.
They're just putting their letter
Arabish.
everywhere.
I'm real dumb.
Wait,
Because
it's,
for me,
that's
because for me,
Huttese.
that's-
It's Huttese.
Oh, it's Huttese. Okay.
Yeah.
Because my initials look very similar to that symbol, so I can't help but think of it
Ooh.
like in a alphabetic sense. So I had forgotten that was an alien language for a second, much like the whole chess
So
thing.
if we see that,
they
if we
thought
see
they
that
were
painted in
usually-
real life, we know it's Jack.
They were
Yeah,
your
they're just
gang.
talking to me. That's why I like the show so much.
Good. That's good.
But
Yeah.
we see in the episode, it pretty much opens up with Stephen Root,
Stephen Root.
Oh my god, I
Elf
was
for
jumping
happy.
up and down.
I was
Elf for love.
see
who
him.
is Matt pointed out. I totally forgot that he's. I didn't even notice him, but it's the guy that's Office Space, the stapler guy, and
Wait, stapler?
Dodgeball.
L for love.
Hey.
Yes.
I believe in my stapler. I told him if they move my desk, we'll
I can't believe it. Look at
There he
him.
is.
I think he's
Looks weird,
obviously
threw me
looks
off,
good.
and
he's
the age.
obviously like done stuff in between like Dodgeball and now. Like Dodgeball is like an ultimate like
Yeah.
guilty pleasure movie of mine, but like I can't believe he's in Star Wars. It's just so
Dude,
random.
I was
So
so
he's a-
happy.
He's
Multiple
a
cameos in this episode. I was very
a
happy. about
water
that.
broker essentially, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
A
Jimmy,
water broker.
you had an interesting theory about this.
Longer.
I do.
I liked this
yeah.
a lot when we were rewatching it.
So, and this kind of ties into everything like later on as well. But the first, we see the watermonger come and just like announce to the petition to Boba, being like, "Hey, this biker gang is up to no good, and they stole from me. They stole my staplers." And so Boba goes and he investigates, and like I have a really big. This is a theory. I have a feeling that the biker gang and the watermonger are working together. Like they straight up were like, "Hey, let's con the new daimyo because we can." Because they're all just standing around, and then he runs out and he's like, "Hey, this isn't like what was supposed to have." Like he's like, "You're supposed to arrest
Comes
them."
out of nowhere.
And then Boba tosses him the money, and like the biker gang has like no reaction. If anything, they're like avoiding looking at at the watermonger. Like, "Oh well, hey, we got a better deal this way." So like And the guy just kept asking for more money, like in the sense of like, "Hey, well, they actually owe me this much," and it was
So
just
you-
weird.
You
It
think
was
this
just
guy's
weird.
coming back? You think they're
Maybe.
gonna Stephen
No,
Root
no.
character?
I think that- I think-
is
I
gonna
think
be
that-
revealed later on. Or
I think the
something?
biker gang was working with them at least. That's what
But
I
I
think
think-
somehow.
I think it
No, I
was.
think-
I don't know if it was your theory, which I liked, but I thought it was just like a one-off thing. Like, oh, that was that, and it's just a fun thing.
Yeah,
I don't
think they
it's
were
gonna
just
come
stealing
back.
his water
Yeah.
Yeah,
instead
I
of
think
I
it's just
spending
the
all their
surface
money on their
level.
bikes.
I
instead
was
of
very
water.
suspicious of them too.
All new nerds.
All new nerds. I was very suspicious of them as well. But as we'll come to talk about later, I feel they earned their keep.
yeah.
I was less believing of like any like because I feel like they did kind of get on Boba's side a little too easily, and it just seemed. The whole scene was a little weird for sure. All these episodes have been written by Jon Favreau, but like this one just felt a little strange in places.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we're gonna get to the flashback because that pretty much happens next, right? But later
Yeah.
on, do we want to get to the flashback, or I want to keep talking about the biker gang?
So rip the band-aid off, talk about the flashback, because the biker gang shows up again later. Well, the other gang, not the Kenton Striders.
Right, I totally goofed it and I forgot that.
It's a lot on the
So
streets
does
of
that
Espa here.
So we get the flashback of Boba's final graduation. It seems, I don't know, that's what I was calling it, and he rides the bantha.
Graduation.
His final graduation, I guess, was dancing around the fire.
Yeah.
But he rides the bantha into town and goes to collect the protection money, and
Oh,
now it's
that's Matt.
gone.
Oh, Matt?
He'll
Hello?
be back and in greater numbers.
I hope he's not back in greater numbers. There's only one of him.
That'd be very upsetting.
There
Oh,
he
hello?
is.
Hello?
I'm
You
on this
okay?
side now.
I like you better over here.
Always happens. Always happens. Got to get it over with fast.
So anyways, he goes in to get the protection money, and he talks with the Pike guy, and then he goes back and he sees the smoke, and I hate calling it my prediction, because I don't think I was the only one to think that the Tuskens would get blown away, for lack
your
of a better
thought, yeah.
term. So
Blown
they're
away.
gone.
For lack of I think there are better terms. Blown
They're
away.
dead. A lot of them are dead.
Massacred.
But I think a
They
lot
got
of these
Uncle Owen and Aunt Barood.
For lack of a better
Yeah.
term, they're dead.
it was a very emotional
Okay.
scene though.
It
Seeing
was.
It
He,
was
Listen,
great
if
acting
you
by
have family
Tamara.
members
Tamara
and
Morrison's
they're in a
acting was good.
homestead or anywhere in a barren part of Tatooine, do not leave them
No,
for
ever.
any reason. Because
you
when
see
you come
smoke-
back, they will be on fire.
yeah.
just turn
That's what I
around.
learned.
If you see
Have-
smoke,
have,
it's over already. Just
Has
turn
that
around.
conversation been out there? The parallels of
Oh, yeah.
Luke coming back
Must
to the
be.
homestead and then
Oh, yeah.
Boba coming
It's
back to the
identical.
Tuskens. Like,
I've
Even
seen
the smoke on the horizon is even
Yeah.
like
True.
a thing.
my
But-
first reaction was I was like, oh, is it like his ship? Because we haven't seen that yet. So I thought like maybe it was some random smoke and he was gonna like go across the dune and then like the ship was just gonna be there and he was gonna be like, whoa, my ship. But no,
So-
it wasn't.
Everyone
think-
seems to
Unfortunately.
have a similar feeling to what we had, that they were killed so abruptly. We spent
Yeah,
so much
off-screen.
time with them in the first
Yeah.
couple episodes, and they die off screen. I don't know
I
how
don't
I
know
would
if I
have.
would have expected them to die on screen though. I don't
like,
think
a
they would have
battle,
showed
yeah.
the massacre.
I don't
No.
know if it. I mean, as us as an audience want to see that, right? Because that's something that's gonna really hit home and be very powerful to watch. But you know, it's Boba's story, so we're trying to stick to Boba as the perspective at all times. So it's more of a gut punch to come back and realize, damn, I really wish I, could have seen this coming after what I did to them. And it just like it really stings to know that he almost had it all together, and nope, no, very
I'm sorry.
much the opposite.
How did this dude plan on taking on the Striders? If they like massacred the whole village, and he's like, "Don't worry,
It's
I'll
Boba Fett.
bring the Tuskens. We outnumber them." It's like,
So I think that there might be more to the Kentum Striders than what we've been seeing as well, because we've only seen like the 5 of them, and then their bikes were stolen, and then they managed to arrive and attack this entire village. So I think that there's probably a lot of them that we don't know about. And to go off of this comment
Yeah,
as
that's a
well,
good
I 100% agree. I think that there were some captured because we don't see the Tusken warrior, Joanna Bennett's character, or Barra, I forget. We don't see anything from her.
We don't see
Like,
a lot of them. Like
Oh,
there's
so that's a good point. Like you said, we've only seen the swoop gang as being a small group, enough for like one badass to kick all of their butts. But do we really think this was the Kenton Striders? I think it's the Pikes.
Yeah, they
that was
could
my
just be
question,
like
yeah.
Just
using the
framing them.
graffiti anyway, because why
Yeah.
not?
It's so obvious to just. Well, I mean, like from their perspective, like, oh, well, they do this anytime they attack somewhere, so just leave one of
they
those.
framed him. Yeah.
Plus, the Pike leader there, who was oh gosh, I forget the voice actor. It was Phil Lamar.
yeah, there you go.
The
Oh my god, I need
Yeah,
to rewatch
yeah.
that. Oh,
you can hear it when
He's
you
gone
rewatch
mad.
it. The Pike leader says that they already paid them, and so maybe they didn't, and he's just saying that so that way they don't have to pay anyone at all.
he's playing both sides, so he always comes out on top.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Clone Humor brings up that there's a shot in one of the trailers we haven't seen that shows a bunch of them. So
Oh,
I
the
mean,
dinner
either,
table
either that
scene?
was cut or maybe
A
hopefully
bunch of
we'll see
those-
more.
Striders.
I'm guessing they mean.
Strider.
I'm guessing they mean the Tuskens, but we'll see.
I
Oh,
love
okay.
that they're the Striders. Like, oh gosh. Anyway,
I mean, yeah, Strider.
Strider.
Brent,
Bikers,
how's it going,
biker
Brent?
gang.
Strider.
Mr. Strider.
I hope we
I'm
get Cobb
sorry. I'm
flashbacks
sorry.
too off this.
Sorry.
These are
Jamie
the
derailed
holes that we
us.
want. These are the gaps that we want to see, right?
Yeah, I
No,
mean, we're gonna get more
did.
flashbacks every episode.
Look.
We're gonna see how he meets Fennec. We're gonna see the slave one flashback, and we're gonna hopefully see Cobb Vanth. I'm dying for Cobb Vanth. That is the number one thing I want to see in this show, as silly as that sounds. But I don't know. I don't think that's that
You know
silly.
what? I want to see more of the Kintum Striders because I want to.
We're definitely going to.
They're just like a bunch of goons, and like I want to see how many of them there are. Plus, like if I get a chance to just like start like saying like Strider like Samwise, like I'm gonna. So like.
Actually, I may take that back because it could easily still be them. Because don't the Klatooinians control the starport, and we'll see them.
Yeah.
They do.
That's
Yeah.
Like the upper
So-
area.
present day. So that.
So
may not be-
also though, that's a really important part of the episode. We were rewatching it, like the very beginning. It's literally Matt Berridge telling us how everything went
exposition
down,
table down.
and it was
Very
like, "This
odd.
is great!" Like he
That was
literally is
great.
like laying it all out, and it's
Anytime
like
we get a map, I get so excited.
I liked the fake news of the barge disaster.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, a couple punk kids came in and wrecked your shop.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh my. Anyways,
I gotta clip
Chad,
that one later.
Chad, there was also a tweet earlier today that I had some questions about for you. We'll discuss later.
So I feel like we can finally talk about
Moving on.
the spookiest scene of the whole show. Black
And-
Chrysanthemum.
Oh, the jump
just-
scare?
Oh, actually,
being
that was
very
so
rude.
good.
Before we
So-
get there, I want to stick on the flashback thing while we're on it.
Yeah,
I
Tuskens.
totally forgot.
Tuskens.
What? My biggest question I keep yelling at people is, not yelling, but texting
you
in all
yell at
caps to
people.
Just
people.
shake. You just go up to people up on the street, just shaking them like.
What is Boba doing for these
What is
4 or
Boba
5
doing
years?
For 4 or 5 years. Every
AJ, you,
single
like, froze
thing
in the
is
middle.
cheese.
Did I
AJ,
freeze?
you froze in the middle of that. You were just like,
Black chrysanthemum face, like all angry. Which we'll get to.
I do think, like, this flashback of the Tuskens being slaughtered doesn't happen very close to, like, the first flashback. I think we're, like, jumping across 5 years. I think
You
not
think so?
exact. I don't think it happened, like, less than a year ago, and then he heads out to Cobb Vanth, Mos Pelgo, or whatever. But, like, there could be a significant amount of time between the flashbacks, and the end could be, like, 2 or 3 years after he started, riding with
Yeah.
him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, I
it's
mean,
possible.
Like we joke about it being a graduation scene, but it did very much feel like everyone's like, "Oh, look at him! He's riding the bantha. Oh, we really respect him now. He really earned it last night with that fire dance, man. That was great." I don't know.
Yeah,
It just felt
maybe
very
you're right.
fresh.
You're right.
yeah,
Oh,
but
but-
at the end of the day, we don't know how long he was captured. We don't know how long he was being trained for. We don't know how often the train went by. That could have been like a month in between of the train going by, for all we know.
Training, trains. I mean,
It's going off the rails, and there's no rails.
Oh,
I think the funniest thing is when he
Continue,
spots the smoke over the horizon, he gets off his bantha.
The
and just-
Bantha just chills
runs.
back there.
And the
He's
bantha's
faster
like,
on foot.
"You're supposed to ride me, dude. Like, what are you doing?" Like, banthas, I love banthas. They're good, like, beasts of burden, like, good at carrying things, but they're
They're not
so
very
bad.
fast. Yeah.
they're
that,
so
like,
dumb.
You can't ride them. But I feel like I want to see a bantha in full gallop. They're basically
man.
elephants,
Excuse
right?
me?
Like,
That's not possible.
how do you know?
Because I'm a bantha.
That answers that.
I don't believe you.
One thing that I thought was really cool about the flashback when it started getting murky while he was burning the bodies, which I thought was a really great scene, and I thought people have been getting really upset with, it's almost like a hashtag not my Luke all over again, where they don't feel like this Boba Fett is the Boba Fett that they've known from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and that watching him, over the funeral, like, what is a Star Wars series without a funeral pyre scene? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
And there's so much reflection that goes into those moments every time, like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Yoda and Mace Windu talking about the rule of two and all that, and Luke with Darth Vader burning and all that, and this
Obi-Wan
here,
with the Jawas, very
Yeah.
important.
Yep.
Many banthas have died.
So
This
many.
message.
Like,
and so I feel that people aren't really respecting how much this resonated with him. Like, yeah, they really mistreated him in the beginning, but the relationship is complicated and it grew into something more powerful. And they taught him a lot of great skills to help him survive while he was out there. And it hurt him because he felt like I don't know, like this is part of why I think he doesn't want to be a bounty hunter anymore, is because he had a break from that after a near-death experience, and then he
Yeah.
lost a a bunch of people that he bonded with, and that's a bit traumatic. I think that would change a person.
No,
yeah,
definitely.
no, I definitely agree with that. I think funeral pyres really signify like a change. You know, that's, I mean, it's pretty obvious
rebirth
that
through
really
fire.
is.
And now his watch
Exactly. You know, whether it's Anakin being the literal pyre, or you know, Luke watching
Luke's
his
temple.
aunt and uncle, or the
Ray watching the TIE
Vader.
Fighter
Yeah,
before going to Exegol. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think of all the examples. Qui-Gon dying was a big change in the
Qui-Gon's
Jedi.
funeral pyre is the best.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I said that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were talking during that, and I wasn't really
No.
thinking about
Anakin
who's
and
burning in
Obi-Wan.
that.
They were
See,
talking in the within the
we
Force.
got it. We got
I
it.
still cannot stress enough
Don't worry.
how
Don't worry, Obi-Wan. I'll see you
ungodly
soon.
bad that must smell.
Obi-Wan?
Just
A burning
Qui-Gon-
body?
Just Qui-Gon sitting there in the middle of a fire. Everybody's
He's
sitting
got a lot of
around him.
hair.
Oh my god, it must smell so bad. Like, what are they doing, guys?
Inside that little.
I
like,
apologize to everyone who might be a little bit put off by this conversation. Didn't know it was going to go in that direction.
It's-
Sorry.
With that
Well,
being
okay,
said,
I can
well-
I can switch because there's something.
Chrysanthemum.
Moving on from the fire.
Well, transitioning to Chrysanthemum, there's the moment where we see more of the Daniel Logan flashback.
Yeah.
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 Maybe that was in the beginning, and I'm pretty sure that was at the end, right before Chrysanthemum said hello. And I'm noticing that this scene is something that over 1, 2, and 3, we're seeing a snippet, we're seeing more of a snippet, we're seeing a longer snippet. This is clearly a scene that when we get to the end of it, there's going to be something very interesting.
Yeah.
But
There's
my heart wants to say Omega, but who knows? I feel like her hand is just waiting to tap him on the shoulder and be like, it's going to be okay.
I as much as I'd like for that to happen, I doubt that would happen because I
Yeah,
don't
me
think that
too.
they've ever met. At least not before the timeline of the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
But yes, there was recent like news that there is a young actor who they have been doing motion capture or been doing like young Boba Fett, like new filming for it. So like it's not just Daniel Logan, they are having like another kid doing extra stuff as well. And then
Right,
they're
I feel
doing,
like-
the face over it, but still.
It'd be a terrible
it's-
strain on his posture if he had to do that motion cap. Yeah.
Oh, he would do it if he
Yeah.
could. He would do it if he could.
He totally
Yeah.
would.
He would.
But
Speaking of
Chrysanthemum.
bad smells,
You
Chrysanthemum.
think Chrysanthemum smells bad?
Yes, I think Chrysanthemum smells bad. I don't think he particularly cares
I love
about his
how-
hygiene.
He got half of a
got kicked
bath
out of
when
Wookiee
he ripped
camps.
open the
Yes.
bacta tank today.
That's
Poor
true.
Boba can't get a full back to bath. He keeps getting ripped
I
out in the middle of
know.
it.
Dude, I
Yeah.
know. Come on.
Trying to get a good night's sleep.
Let my boy rest.
And then earlier in the episode, is Bacta like water? Like I know Bacta's a
Yeah, I think
I
plant,
think it's a little
but
goopier.
It's
Yeah,
like an
but it looks-
infused
it looks
water.
It's like aloe vera.
Yeah,
basically.
one big bath of
when
aloe.
Yum. Boba falls out,
Oh, I don't know why.
That's why you're worth it.
he reminds me of Frank in Always
Frank
Sunny when
must be
he's
clean.
in he's in the
Pure.
Purell.
That must be pure.
Pure.
That's all I could think of.
It's too good.
He's getting
Again-
tossed around in his underwear.
Oh my god, dude.
Again,
Boba
This is a
Fett,
weird vibe
soaking
tonight.
wet, bald, smooth Boba Fett in a diaper fighting a giant Wookiee is something I was not expecting.
That
to
wasn't on
watch,
your Boba bingo.
but I'm so glad I got it.
We talked
Could've been
about
Should've been a
how
guarantee.
we talked about how, like, you know, this is a Wookiee who actually instills some fear. I was like cringing and just like, oh god, don't rip his head off, don't rip his head off.
I was terrified.
It was a
Like,
good
legitimately.
fight. It was
took
a
a
really
chomp.
good fight. This
I
was
was
like
so
the
scared for my 2 Gamorrean boys. Let me
Oh.
tell you,
Oh,
I'm not
I've really
kidding.
come to love them.
when they went down, when he bit the one Gamorrean and they both went down, I'm like, oh my god, and I was like this the whole time until they got up, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Well, Matt, I wouldn't get too attached to those Gamorreans if you remember the
will.
trailer. So
I will get
Oh, no.
attached to the Gamorreans. I don't remember
The,
what was in the trailer.
this was
I didn't see
actually
the
the
trailer.
first. I don't know what you guys talked about. I'm moving on. This was the first time in the current timeline of the season that we see Boba using the gaffy stick because he like
Yeah.
just like
nice
stabs
to
like
see.
Chrysanthemum like with it, and then
It's,
it's
like,
like
in
stuck
his
in his
back for
shoulder for like
2
half the
minutes.
fight. And it's
Yeah.
like,
He was first trying to go to his gauntlet, which
Yeah.
looked like it. I don't know if that was the same because his rocket launcher is like a little bit more raised than Din's. So I'm not sure if that. I gotta look at it again because it almost looked more like Din's this time. But anyway, yeah, like he was going for that, but he couldn't put it on fast enough, and it's like, you know, his old stuff
And it was like,
wasn't doing it. Couldn't get, like, that requires time, you know, like, so it just shows how he's starting to embrace that more Tusken side because it's just more convenient
more
Yeah.
accessible, yeah.
in the moment.
yeah.
Besides, what's he gonna do? Was he planning on like shooting a missile close range at Black Chrysanthemum like he did with that shield guy?
Look,
Come on,
look.
Boba, you need better
He picks
tactics.
up
Look.
the jetpack.
He
Is that a
doesn't
bad thing?
think.
You need better tactics, Boba. You cannot
If-
keep shooting close range missiles at people and blowing
If
yourself
anything,
up.
But
He
it's
should have
really
thrown his
fun.
helmet at him.
he doesn't know what he's doing. He's being a little dumb. He's a little stressed out. He's just
think-
wearing his robe around the house. He's in
I
full
honestly
I
think
don't know what I'm
he
doing
is.
mode.
He
Like
literally
he's just
had
in
a
like
robe. It was so good.
The robe was
Speaking of
great.
red hair,
Lovely
imagine if he went for the
robe.
flamethrower.
Ooh, yeah, more burning hair. That's
ugh, ugh.
The nastiest
Um,
callback.
That's the theme of tonight is burning hair.
Oh, we'll get
guys.
to
That's-
the-
that's
we'll get to the
secret
jog.
phrase.
But
Ooh, baby.
we see the kids, the kid gang, youngsters show up.
Dude,
I
I
what's
love
what
them.
is what is her name?
Drash.
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 Isn't that
Drash is her
great?
name.
name's
She
Drash.
walks in. Boba's getting like strangled about
Walks
like
in,
a second
flicks
from
the
dying.
knife open
She
like
walks
it's a
in.
switchblade.
And then just like,
you
just
know
like
what?
pokes him. Just
I wanted to
sticks it
get to
right
this
in.
earlier, but you know what bothers me? Where
Uh-oh.
was Fennec?
Yeah, that's a
She
good
took
point.
so long to show up. She was the last one to show up. It was the gang, then the Gamorreans, and then Fennec was like in the throne room. So I'm like,
She
what
was
was
preparing
she
the
doing?
feast.
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
get with that
I mean,
droid.
Chrysanthemum felt overwhelmed by the time the Gamorreans showed up. That's why he tackled one of them and they went down the stairs. Because he's like, I got to get away from these guys because I am totally surrounded and
Yeah.
I got a gaffy stick in my leg or back or wherever at that point. So time to move.
I mean, I love the mods,
So-
coming in to help
Boba is a
fight
disaster.
Chrysanthemum because I love watching. He's building his family right in front of our eyes. Like we're watching him slowly build a team,
Yeah.
and by the end of it, he's probably going to have like a ton of people. People keep saying that Danny Trejo is like going to like betray him with the Rancor. There's no way. I do not think that's going to happen. I know I see so many people talking about that, and like that's not
That
going
makes
to
no
happen.
sense. Why?
How
'Cause he
could
was
he
the
if the
hub?
rules of
the
the Rancor
Rancor
as shown are true?
Are his family now. They're part of the family. He's got that. I think Black Chrysanthemum's coming back. I think he's jogging back. I think he just went for like a jog around the palace.
He had to go
He's
think
gonna
it
come
up.
back
think it-
around.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
you know what? Actually, I'm good. So
It's kind of hot. Kind of chill.
While we're talking about, since we name dropped the fact they're called the mods, can I share something,
The
AJ?
mods. Yeah,
That's a good call.
that-
you really
Blame
should
me,
because
but-
All right, hang on
Boy,
a
them,
second.
Such a
them
cool
bikes,
connection.
though.
Let me here continue while I get this figured out.
I mean, I love the idea that this gang is literally based on the mods of the '60s, right?
That's
Like,
what
I know
I'm
that's what
getting
you're
at.
building up to.
That's
Is
what
anyone
I'm
getting-
getting at.
Is
I
anyone getting
love-
sus vibes from Fennec?
No,
No.
No, not from
No
Fennec,
way.
but I think it's weird that all these people keep conveniently appearing when they need to.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't ask too many questions, but hopefully this
That
comes
blew me
up
out
in
of
a
room.
second. Sorry. Hang on. There's a lot of questions, as you can see, because it's taking forever to load. I'm sorry about
Okay.
that.
I
Uh-oh.
like the idea.
It's taking way... Aha!
The mods.
The mods!
What is
Hopefully in
this?
less than 5 minutes. So, the mods, this is a subculture of London in like the 50s and the 60s. Don't look at my notes down below, but this is essentially what it was. Sorry, guys, you're getting a history lesson right now. I literally like dug more into this today because I needed to figure out why it looks so familiar. Because it's lovingly ripped out of 60s subculture in London, and it's perfect. So like
Look at those
you have
mirrors.
like the two images like up top. These are real things. This is what
I
people
know.
like did. It was real. It was so cool. And so then you look at like the actual like bikes and it's lovingly there. And so I bring you to the next photo here. So obviously we know George Lucas made American Graffiti, and that was 60s greasers. And so I think that it's perfect that they have literally ripped the London 60s vibe as well, and then of course like everywhere else, like popular culture, the whole mod like fashion thing, and they just adapted it. Plus the lead person here, she looks just like Joan Jett, so that's not 60s, but I think that is pretty cool as well. So I'm gonna stop sharing this right now, but I made that little PowerPoint before. Thank you, Matt, for taking
Everyone getting
notes,
this?
and we're gonna have
Everyone
a,
getting this?
Plenty of notes.
we're gonna have a slide tonight another day, and hopefully I'm going to be more prepared.
No, but you're
That was
absolutely
good.
right. I think the most clever part is that they're not just modifying their speeders; they're modifying their bodies.
Their bodies.
They are literally mods, and I love
So-
that. I think it's so clever to like take like the mod culture from the '60s and make it like.
It is so clever, but I have to bring this up. That it is very clever that they're doing that. However, they literally have this group of beings who have modified their bodies to have droid parts. not a single one of those actors, unfortunately, like are like a have a physical disability. They could have literally cast actors who are like
Yeah,
missing
true.
limbs to like do this, which would have been really cool to see. So
a good point.
that's a huge oversight, like on like Lucasfilm's like side, where they could have cast actors who have a disability in which they are like missing physical features, and like been like, hey, we're gonna make these cool like people who modify their bodies, because like there are a lot of really cool actors out there who like work through that, but like. Nope.
At the end, it's a half victory, right? Because there is
Yeah.
still the fact that it is representation in a way of showing people like I can imagine that for cosplayers who maybe are like missing that same arm, like it's like cool.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
friggin' making this like same way that like Snake from Metal Gear Solid has that similar vibe.
We could go on about metal arms for forever, like
Oh.
Furiosa from Mad Max Fury Road, Bucky.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's just keep going. You can rattle
There's
them off.
There's somebody else in Star Wars who has a metal arm. I forget his name.
I don't know, Echo.
C-3PO?
Everybody.
Echo, that's it. Luke.
Luke and the
Something.
metal
That's
hand.
it.
Yeah.
Anakin
So like,
something.
Yeah. Why
it's-
am I
it's
recast
so
Mark Hamill?
common. It's so common in Star Wars, but like the fact that they
Yeah.
put so much emphasis, they literally named this crew the
With these
Mods.
guys.
Mods,
It's
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
it's
It would have been
It's a
really
good
cool to
point.
see
It really is.
people with,
so many references packed
Yeah.
into it.
It's the same thing
like-
how
like,
in the Eternals, the speedster whose name is escaping me, she's actually a deaf actor, and
Right,
they did
yeah.
the same thing with
in Hawkeye.
Aya
In Echo.
in Hawkeye. Yeah, Echo.
With Echo.
Thank you.
Yes, other
Right,
character named
yeah.
Echo.
And
Yeah,
so,
the
like-
the actor who created the Tuscan sign language was
Yes.
Yes.
So
also deaf.
they're
Yes.
trying.
hard of hearing.
And I give him that, but I think that it's important that we recognize this as well. That like, hey,
Yeah,
you could have done more,
Missed
and I think
opportunity.
that it's important that it's just to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we can always do better.
I picked up on that actually reading through tweets from Resilient Squadron. So if you guys are interested in more about just
yeah.
like about their podcast as well, so they're
Bakari,
resilient.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Resilience. Oop, sorry. Yeah, that's the person in Eternals, but I picked it up from Resilient Squadron on this entire bit because I wasn't aware of it myself until like I saw it there, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, they definitely could have like tossed that in.
I did
Right,
like
but
that
I
line.
I love this 60s mod cyberpunk group that was loving
And
I
I'll
really-
say it. I'll
good.
say it. I like the colorful bikes.
Me
Yeah.
I
too.
really
I think
like
they're
them.
great.
I think it's just. I think they just
I-
pop more on
they're-
Tatooine.
I need to see
Yeah.
them in action more because what we did see of them in action
Well,
in this episode did
I-
not do them too
In
much
action,
justice.
I
We'll
like
set
give
the
them
your bit.
look.
aside.
I like
AJ,
the
give-
look of the.
I like the
Yeah,
look of them. I like
knowing
how
knowing
they
how,
look.
knowing
What
the
is my
intent
bit?
now, I am very much more into them. I
About
like that.
cost of shows.
Oh yeah, Matt and I were going over this last night. How maybe some of the stuff doesn't look as good as it might. I've thought this for Mandalorian, which looks amazing. You have the volume stuff and it looks cool, but at the end of the day, you don't have the budget you have for the films because they don't make as much money, not nearly as much money. But maybe that's why stuff looked weird with the chase at the end, which we'll get to.
No, it definitely is. I mean,
Yeah, and I'm
with
willing to
shows, you gotta
accept that
know-
limitations are going to happen.
Right.
shows don't make as much money as movies, just inherently.
Yeah.
But also,
All they are is subscription drivers.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're subscription drivers. Also, Lucasfilm is shelling out a ton of money for one movie or like 4 or 5 shows. It's like they're shelling out the same budget for Book of Boba Fett, Mando season 3, Kenobi, Andor, all these shows that they would for probably like the entirety of the Rise of Skywalker, for instance. It's almost like a quantity kind of thing. We're getting like a ton
Yeah.
more shows, but they're going to be.
Well,
lower
look at the
budget. So we're
train.
gonna have to.
They
fill
probably
in.
spent a lot on the train last week.
Yeah.
That looked amazing.
But that,
Yeah.
that was great. Yeah.
That looked
Yeah.
like
It
movie
looked
quality. Yeah.
Incredible.
They,
Well, it's
they-
like it's the same thing with
yeah.
Mando season 2 because you have like episode chapter 9 with the crate dragon. It's
Was
Yeah.
was
And
like
then you
movie-
have
100%
very
movie
nice.
quality
episode
blew my socks
with-
off.
the Titan
Yeah.
episode is amazing, but at the same time,
It's
it's,
in
like, okay,
Favreau's
guys,
backyard.
you drove 50 miles out to the mountains of California. You stacked some rocks. I get it.
See, they
But I see
did
you.
that so
Ooh,
that way they
yeah.
could do the Dark Troopers in as good a quality that they could. So they're like, let's
Who
go to a
directed
physical
The Typhon
location.
episode.
It did work, but at the
Robert
same time, I'm like,
Rodriguez.
okay, this is the
Robert
TV show part showing its skin.
I honestly think it's partly Robert Rodriguez just having like a
Yeah.
flair for the cheesy
That's
low
what his
budget
vibe is.
kind of look. And
Which-
you know what?
You know what we
This
didn't
is
talk
his-
about, Matt?
This is a big part of his project, so I'm gonna let it happen. Yeah, We have to the first shot in the entire thing, and we skipped over it.
The
And it's a
Bomar
big deal.
monk.
Yeah,
The
the Bomar.
That's
Bomar
big.
monk.
Yeah,
The Bomar.
the Balmar monk, and it looked like
It looked
70s,
stop
80s cheese stop
It looked
motion, right?
good.
It looked
Yes.
good, yeah.
It looked
Yeah.
Super
super
charming.
Also, I forget the name of the type of toad frog, desert frog guy.
Yes.
God.
Is that a
Yes.
gort?
Yeah, I
Gort,
forgot
thank
about
you.
Gort.
When he got the bird and the
Yeah. I love how it's like
what
a
was it?
bird catches a lizard.
It was a bird
Tongue
and a
catches
lizard.
both
Always a
of
big
them,
fish.
and then he
I was-
burps.
I've been playing too much Halo lately because as soon as it happened, I was like, double kill.
I love that though, because that's something that they've added into the special editions. Like you just like see like the guy like down low, and he just sits there with he eats it, whatever, and there's.
That's in the original
burp.
movie. That's in the theatrical.
That's in the
movie.
original.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
It looks-
That's
it
so
looks
funny.
PG, but it's not.
I
That
always
blows
thought
my
that was a
mind.
special
Damn
edition
good
thing.
puppetry.
That's funny.
Damn good ones.
Damn good ones too.
Damn.
But where'd we leave off?
I have
With
no idea.
the Rancor. So we'll talk about Danny.
Oh!
Seeing
Rancor.
Danny Trejo come into Star Wars. Jamie and I were.
There he
So
is.
I didn't
excited.
even
Look
notice
at
it
him.
was him until they were in the pit. I don't know why, but I just didn't see him.
Literally, the first shot of him, I'm like, is that Danny Trejo? And
Oh.
then it gets closer, and I'm like, oh my god, it is.
Danny
Like,
Trejo.
Look at
He
him.
is-
Perfect Rancor owner, you know.
Honestly,
Yeah, he is.
I didn't know I wanted that. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the twins. We got to talk about the twins.
Amazing casting.
oh,
Oh, the
Right.
So
twins.
disappointed about the twins. I
Twins,
loved
Take it
the
away,
Basil.
twins. I was so
Twins.
excited about the twins. I loved seeing the first live action Huts. You know, that had like speaking roles, like a big role. Obviously, Gardula, like I said, was sitting around in episode 1. But these were the first big time Huts in live action, and they showed up last episode to be like, "Sup, we're gonna take over." And then they show up in this episode, and they're like, "Sup, never mind, we're out."
Yeah,
I'm
and
like, "What are you
that's what-
doing? Where are you
I
going?"
totally agree because that's what felt weird about this episode is like just like with the Watermonger, just a lot of convenient like comes out of backstage left. Hey, wait a
Yeah.
minute, you know, like
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
It's just
And
like
I
felt
don't-
very
Can you
jarring.
imagine those guys carrying that litter all the way to Jobs Palace?
All the way out
That's
there.
all I could think about.
Oh my God.
That's where Chrysanthemum was
Like,
running
okay,
off
we
to.
gotta
They
get
needed
around.
help.
Just for the twins to be like, bye, and turn
Like,
around.
do the twins want to be carried through the desert?
You know what the funniest
They don't
part
have a
is?
skiff?
I feel like that's so like,
The Rancor-
vulnerable. It makes you so vulnerable.
The Rancor comes in on a hover one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those guys are like, why can't these guys go around on that?
They're looking at
But-
that, they're like, what is this? What
Back
are
to
we
your
doing?
point.
I look at it every time.
Back to your point about the Huts coming and leaving so fast. Why? It just seems weird. It seems weird that the Huts would be afraid of the Pikes. I know
Yeah.
that's where we're gonna get to at the end here, but
They're in a severely weakened state, the
It
Huts.
did feel strange.
I think
You know.
the Pikes are a red herring.
I think
The-
that it's
the
more.
Pikes
I
are
agree.
Literally.
I
You
think.
gotta say literally after you're done. Yes. They're
You're
literally
funny.
fish.
That's good.
They're fish.
That is good. Red Pikes.
The red pikes.
Hey there, Skipper.
You really had to cast that line, huh?
Oh god.
But I don't know. It just why are the Huts afraid of these guys? I've never been intimidated by the Huts
I agree.
myself.
I
I think
let
they're being a
alone-
little
Feels strange.
I mean the
shellfish.
Pikes. That was
Are we done?
This is going.
Are-
This is going
Done this
downstream
long, we
quick.
gotta smart
we might
talk.
as well go back to Danny Trejo and the Rancor. So
I do really want to talk about that because
Yeah.
okay,
Go-
like,
circle back. Circle back.
as a child, and I brought this up on the May the 4th episode of HoloNet Marauders, so definitely go back and check out that episode to get the full scoop. But every Star Wars movie has at least one creature that's meant to terrify small children. You know, you got like the Iguandra, you got the no, not the Iguandra. Dang, I'm gonna say I almost said Danganronpa, so I'm just gonna bounce. Yeah, you know, what I'm talking
Dianoga?
about. Dianoga, thank you.
I remember you talking
got
about the Dianoga.
Wampa,
Yep.
You got the Rancor,
Rancor,
and the
the
Rancor.
Porgs.
Ooh.
Oh, the
Terrifying.
Rancor has always scarred me, and that scene was always like I love Return of the Jedi, but I would always have to be like from behind the couch watching that scene because it would just scare the crap out of me. And you know, growing up, like all of us here as nerds have delved into the lore, and we know how like the Night Sisters are with Rancors and all that.
We haven't even
And it was just
mentioned
really
that.
cool to see that being discussed in live action for regular ass fans to get to learn about too, because they're not going to bother, and maybe now they'll get to see Rancors in a different light.
Do you want to
Yeah.
see the cutest picture of a Rancor in a children's book? So this is in Creatures Big and Small. So illustrations from Katie Cook. This is one of my favorite Rancor pictures ever.
See, if you had seen that
That's-
first,
That's the Rancor when it sees Boba.
I think I
Oh
have
my
a pin
goodness.
somewhere, an enamel pin that's like a little Rancor, but it has like the little hearts under its eyes, so it's like little like kawaii thing.
I love.
Anyway.
the
He's so cute.
I love the. It's. I mean, this is. It's
love
the same
this
kind
guy.
of thing. It's the same kind of thing as Boba. It's like a new characterization of something that we already know as like menacing, but
Yeah.
we're getting like a new.
Who's a good boy?
Oh my god,
Who's
he's an
a good
animal lover.
boy?
And the holiday special
I
reference.
love this thing.
Yeah.
That was great.
Oh, man.
I've written things
Wait.
10
I've-
times.
10 times
or
it says.
whatever he says.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And in
Oh, okay.
the animation part of the holiday
Right,
special,
right,
the
right,
good
right.
part
Reference
of
to
it,
that-
the
whatever
fun
that
part.
I
long
really
gap.
hope he will read. I really hope he rides that. I really freaking hope he rides
The
that.
Rancor?
that
Oh,
he
we
will.
definitely
He
will.
definitely will. They don't.
Yeah.
That's
Chekhov's gun
Chekhov's
right
Rancor.
there.
Yeah.
Chekhov's Rancor. You set it up. You got to pay off, or I'm gonna be mad.
Chekhov's Rancor.
Chekhov's Rancor. Yeah.
I want a Rancor like hung up over like a fireplace now, just like.
Oh
just-
Oh
man.
no, mounted.
Ooh.
A mounted Rancor.
Yeah,
I
that's sad.
No, but that's how Chekhov's gun works. You put it over the mantle.
I love how
Yeah.
Boba's like
Ah,
patting the
right. You
take it
Rancor,
down
just
in
like
Act 3.
getting acclimated to it and whatnot, and then the droid just pops around the corner and he's like, "Sir," and Boba, "Not
know.
now!" Just like
Now, bitch.
Matt
So-
Berry.
Matt
At it
Berry's
again.
so good. He's so
he
good.
interrupted like 2 scenes this episode.
What do we think the name's gonna be? He's got to name it, right? He mentioned it. What are we gonna name you?
I don't know.
Poor Moochie though. This made me
Yeah.
think back and like, oh man, so poor Moochie, like his like parent or whatever's long gone because that poor thing has been passed around like a trading card. That really stinks.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
yeah,
probably-
Moochie
he's
can't
probably
be
on a
this
farm
one
somewhere.
No.
because they mentioned this
No,
one's
no,
a calf.
definitely.
No, I'm just
So,
answering. I'm just answering.
They
answering
mentioned this
that.
one's a calf. They also say this one's a boy, and Moochie was a girl.
Right.
So those are 2 big things.
So what is
And
Moochie?
Moochie's
Is Moochie
missing
not a
a
calf?
Moochie was an adolescent, because that's what Sid says to them, adolescent.
Hold the
Um,
phone.
So that's what it
This
makes me
Rancor
confused.
was much bigger than Moochie.
Maybe it's because it was a male.
Yeah,
Oh, I
maybe
didn't
girl
think
Rancors
There
are
we go.
really
Yeah,
small.
yeah,
Small.
because they call them bull rancors in KOTOR, I think.
Oh,
when
jeez.
you run into
That's
like
still-
the mobs.
that. Oh my god. Those poor female Rancors.
Can I just say?
I mean, think about how. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go down that road.
this
Uh,
episode.
Different breeds of dogs. There's just some combinations that shouldn't be.
Dear God. Dear
This
God.
episode, the streets of Mos Espa. And this is kind of a side note from the Rancors and totally separate, but Matt, and Jamie, and several others. Jack doesn't like this, but we love the Phantom Menace video game, especially the Mos Espa level.
Hold up.
Okay,
Hold
okay.
I need to
right.
correct the record here.
Defend
'cause I don't want
yourself.
I love that game. It hates me.
It
Okay.
okay.
It
Okay,
hates
I
all of us.
misunderstood.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
It's
that
just
level,
Oh.
for anyone that remembers, that level is amazing. You literally get to walk around Mos Espa. There's not really any combat needed. You talk to people. It's like Grand Theft Auto. You do this and that.
You
do
can
a bunch
roll
of
around
side
in the
quests.
poop, and
You
then
can
they'll
roll
say
side
that
around
you
in the
quests.
stink.
dung worms. You could
So
push
this-
people. I mean, you could
This
do everything.
game, this movie, this show, movie show. This show is like that level. It's Boba
is.
going around town, and I love that feel, and it kind of feels like
some side quests.
some of the music in this episode sounded very KOTOR to me. Jack brought up KOTOR, and I went to that. Just some small little things. Maybe think of like the music on Terrace, is it, in KOTOR 1, and a lot of like that criminal underworld stuff that's in this show reminds me of rolling around in KOTOR doing stuff, and I
Man.
love the feel of the show.
If we're gonna talk KOTOR, then Boba really nailed those speech checks when he was talking to the
Oh, yeah.
watermongers and the mods for the first time.
He bumped
There
up
you go.
his speech or charisma.
I love
Sure.
how
that was me.
once-
That would have turned into a fight.
I love how once again he walks up to them and he's like, "I'm Boba Fett," and they're like, "Yeah, we know." Like
Everybody
they
knows.
sassed
He
him right
always-
back to him. That's why
always
I think
introduces
that they
himself. It's
might
so
be
funny.
in cahoots with the watermonger, because the fact that they're literally just like, "Yeah, we know who you are." Like,
Everyone's
dude, go back to
treating him
your
like that.
castle. Like, we don't want to see you, old man.
But that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like he's
forget.
acting like a poser, and I mean, to everyone who doesn't give a shit about Boba the way we all do.
Scent of a
It's the-
clone.
Scent of a
It's the-
clone.
Coming to
Hey, now it's a new scent of a clone because he's
Ooh, de
imprinted on
Boba.
this new Rancor. So now it's a new scent of a clone. So
a journey
it-
from Camino to Mos Espa.
a young man's search of discovery, self-discovery, Camino to Mos
From the
Espa.
Sarlacc and back.
But
You smell like you just got out of the back to tank.
I sort of sidetracked us. But I feel like I
Jack,
wanted.
Jack was saying, what were you saying, Jack?
Yeah, what were you saying?
I don't know.
Dear God.
Boba goes to see the mayor,
And he's not there.
and he's not there.
The mayor's a puppet
Hey.
here. I'm telling
We
you.
get to see Matt again, long hair Matt.
Yeah.
Yes. Long hair me sitting behind the Yes,
like,
didn't have any,
yes.
didn't have any
He got
lines.
eviscerated in the memes. Poor man.
I love that man.
He's just out
It's
here living his
great.
best life.
Yeah, he didn't have an appointment. What is he?
Hey.
supposed to
Chad
do?
thinks I should do the mayor guy. I guess well,
AJ, if you grow your mustache again, there you go.
Oh yeah, easy.
AJ.
Oh, that's good.
Oh God.
Grow your mustache.
I
Oh my
need
God,
to.
yeah. Jamie, you have some.
All right, so we're gonna start looking
Matt, I
through
need to
that
borrow that
jacket now
mustache.
because
hold
Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. I haven't really seen it so far, but Mandalorian has used a lot of found items. So we'll see what's going on with that. By the way, there's a zipper on Drash's vest, which I'm just like, whoa, excuse me.
So
But
should
yeah,
we
that's
like
just
do a
another
cosplay and like walk around Celebration, be like, sorry, you don't have a reservation.
that would be great.
There you go.
Oh God.
Oh no,
Oh,
things
no.
are happening.
You've got it.
What?
You've got us thinking. You've got us thinking.
Too much is
The
happening.
mayor,
Watching-
the
you're
mayor's not
watching
there,
The gears turning.
Anyway,
and then we get the slowest speeder chase I've ever seen.
this is what I mean by it was too slow paced but fast paced at the same time. They wanted it to be fast paced and they're shoving all
but-
these references in there, but they were
Yeah.
crawling.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the real problem with that scene is that they aren't so much references as they are tropes, and they're hitting every trope in the book about stuff. Like literally, they must have watched like every Lethal Weapon, and then we're just like, all right, this, and this. Take all those, just put them in one. I will say, Chris Bartlett just killing it once again. That protocol traffic droid.
Oh, really? That was him?
My favorite. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Absolutely.
That's
Pretty much
great.
anytime you see a protocol, it's a good
He's
bet
in
it's
it.
him.
Nice.
And I just love it. It's like hooligans.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, like I love how that was in there, but I don't know 100% on this, but I think that the Major Domo's speeder is at least a variation of Han's VCX that's in the beginning when they're in Corellia, and Kira says in the
Yeah.
worst way possible, "I love it." Like,
It definitely is.
sorry,
you're
y'all had
right.
to be stressed out by her saying that.
have we looked at the bikes?
It sounded very similarly. So no, but you can talk about it now. I showed it in my quick little PowerPoint earlier.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
They're great.
I love the look of these bikes. I think.
Yeah.
I'm appreciating them in a new light. I think it's just the
Yes.
color.
Yeah.
Star Wars, you expected everything to be dirty, and especially in Tatooine, where good luck keeping those things clean, but they just seem to
So-
be doing a pretty good job.
Something interesting. Maybe they want more water so they can take care of their bikes.
Wasteful. It's wasteful.
Take
That's
care of
a-
their bikes.
That's a good.
Go
that's a
to
good
go
thought.
to a planet with more water if you want to do that.
On a planet that's a desert, it's all about the water. Like that's like the whole
Lot of-
plot of like Mad Max. It's all about the water and then the
of desert
oil.
and
But
water,
like
so many-
so
So many Tatooine ocean
did need
references.
George
They
to tell
keep
them.
they
Yeah.
keep peppering them.
They do keep
yeah,
hammering
keeps-
those.
throwing that out there.
Is Boba gonna terraform
Interesting.
Tatooine?
Yeah,
Maybe.
right? Oh,
Maybe he
God,
will.
can you imagine?
But the best part of the chase, in my humble opinion,
Hey,
It could have been Bantha Poodoo. It
Manure.
could have gone Back to the Future.
Mailer runs.
yes.
I
So-
hate mailer runs.
That's the worst part.
So I didn't pull up that one, but like the whole Back to the Future of Griff's gang, they look exactly like them, and the chase
Yep.
and the.
That's too good. Too good.
Oh man.
car wash scene next episode, cleaning those bikes with some
Yeah.
like cool music playing.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
love
yeah.
to see that.
Well, that's fantastic.
Max Rebo's playing
Some-
car
some
wash
rec
on
funk.
the piano.
Yeah, some
Rec
wreck punk
punk.
back there.
Rec punk
No,
and
Rec
funk.
Funk.
I like
Oh,
rec
rec funk.
funk. That's a new one.
Yeah, it's
You know
a
what?
spin-off genre.
So one of the guys, so the other main one, so there's Drash, and then the other main guy that has the eyepiece, his character's name is Scad, which is like really funny because like
Oh, nice.
mod is ska music kind of like came about through like the whole mod like subculture as well. So the fact there's literally a character named Scad is like, what are we doing?
I really
Why
like.
is this Scad?
He had that line where where I forget who it was, but they said something that made him feel like might have offended him a little bit, and he's like, "Don't worry about it." Like this
I'm
is
proud of
what
this
Oh, yeah, yeah.
this is what makes me proud. Like, which
Yeah.
I feel like must be a sentiment that a lot of people who really take ownership of it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really gonna pretend like I know.
Boba says to him, "Keep an eye on it," and then he realizes immediately,
That's what it
"Oh
was.
my God, I'm
Like, oh,
sorry. You only have
just
one
a-
eye."
It's like no,
So-
I get it.
Yeah.
It's just
No,
a
that's
matter of
what
I love
defines
that
me
guy.
and what I'm proud of.
I
When-
really like this gang. I think they're
I
really
do
cool.
too. I'm totally into them.
They're
I don't know
growing
what,
on me.
what people what problems.
I hated
people
them
have.
until they helped protect him from Chrysanthemum, and then they
Oh,
won
yeah.
me over. Because like, all right, these guys are legit. They can hold their own
Yeah,
against this
I was
Wookiee.
pretty
I
the
hope
same.
that they are they stay loyal though. That's my biggest
Yeah.
thing because I
You're
have the
so
thought.
sus on them.
I am a little sus on it. Like I still feel that way because
You
it-
took Beckett's lesson to heart.
Don't trust anybody.
anyone.
That's the biggest thing.
Look
The
where that
fact
got
that they're on Tatooine and they have the super clean bikes. It's just like, how long have you guys been on here? How much water are you
you think they're a
going through
plant?
to do that? So maybe they are. Maybe they're not supposed to even be there in the first place because maybe the watermonger was telling the truth and been like, hey, I don't know who these kids are. These like insolent youths. I love how he uses the term insolent youths. It's just so,
I disrespected on your behalf.
two terms out of Star Wars this year that I never thought I would have heard: insolent youths and insubordinate pleb. Like I can't like.
When did that come up? I never miss a pleb.
Gregor says that in the Bad Batch when like
yeah.
they arrive at the cell and he's just like, these insubordinate
good
plebs. and then
Oh
he
my
does
god, that's great.
So who do we think?
Sorry.
Matt mentioned building this family earlier. Do we think they all stay loyal?
I do.
I think
That's
so.
my.
I think there's got to be some twist though in this kind of crime world thing, right?
Black Chrysanthemum will come home.
I think they'll
That's
see
a
because
good
like
twist, though.
he wants. So there's two ways I think it can go. I mean, I think as far as the people that he wants to bring into his circle, the respect thing will work. Like it's the other gangs, the entire other gangs that I don't think it will work, and
Yeah.
he's gonna have to snap and go ham and make everyone who thought he was toned down eat their words. But I think that as far as the people he actually wants to be under his, gang. Respect works, and they see that when they see how he treats Chrysanthemum, and I think
Isn't it
that
just-
moment. I don't know if they're there for that. Are they there for that? They may not.
No, I don't think they are.
I would hate if
This as
Fennec.
well. As long as they get paid, they'll stay.
Yeah,
That's how
true.
it works with everybody.
I would hate
You're
to see
right.
if the Huts. I would hate to see Fennec turn and be
No,
bad and
I
go
would-
against
God,
Boba.
I would not want that.
But I'm just saying, she was the
Yeah, I
last
wouldn't
to
want
show
that.
up when you'd think she'd be the first. And how did Chrysanthemum get in? Did he just sneak in? Did someone open the door for him?
Dude, there's
He
lots
must
of-
be very sneaky. Look, do we need to pull up the full cross section again of Jabba's palace? There's a lot of space there.
The Bomar monks
So-
let him in.
That's
I mean,
true. But
Yeah.
Boba saved her life.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like Fennec is a special case, and I don't think she would ever break that.
I hope.
I don't.
Yeah,
I think she
I
has a
hope not.
life debt, and I think Chrysanthemum has a life debt.
Now potentially,
I feel like I
Yeah.
feel like now
Although-
he might feel like he owes him. Maybe not necessarily life debt, but he might feel like he owes them because he
Yeah.
took the job for the Huts, didn't deliver on it, and then the Huts were just like,
Good
"Oh,
point
we
there,
don't care.
Chad.
Get the hell out of here."
I
Chris-
agree, Chad. I agree.
So-
I've been doing a lot of back reading on Chrysanthemum, and like he's been kind of tossed around ever since he got kicked out of Wookiee society and got picked up and forced into gladiator ship.
Chewie.
And,
Yeah.
I know, I love
Sorry.
that. And so I think for him to like that look he gives Boba before he does his little Wookiee shuffle.
Yeah, he's like,
really,
It's a
it's
look.
like, he's like, huh,
I think
okay.
he's coming back. I do think
I hope so.
this isn't the last we see of him. I hope.
That's the respect that Boba's trying to garner, and I think that's with the people who count. That'll earn him.
I feel
If
they
he- if
could
he can
tie
get
it
the
off.
Gamorreans.
True. I mean, they do they get
Well,
paid?
they were literally about to die for their loyalty to Jabba until Boba was able to talk them out of it.
True.
And I think that's a mark of Boba's character and how he's trying to run things and change up the underworld. And
Yeah,
I think
I-
if he was able to win
The
over those
Gamorreans.
two Gamorreans, who I didn't trust at
They're gonna
all
turn.
until they started protecting
Warriors
him.
are turning.
I love.
No, they
this-
they
this
dragged
new
him into the back to
characterization.
tank. They could have
Yeah.
just
They say
killed
I
him.
know.
life.
I know, but we'll
Watch
see.
it, buddy.
they're the
Don't-
most trustworthy.
Don't talk. Don't talk bad about my.
I'm going off
Gamorreans.
of knowledge.
Guys, he's trying to build a family. You got to trust your family.
Matt's giving me
I-
the Larry David squint now.
Something that's interesting from a storytelling perspective is meals with each other. So like when you see like a meal with something, meals always symbolize coming together, whether you think about it or not, if that's like the intent or not with any sort of direction. Fennec is sitting there chowing down and Boba's not eating at all. So like I don't want to throw that out there and be like, but let's throw that out there.
I think
al-
that
also,
R2
like,
unit
at the-
There's potential symbolism.
At,
poison
like-
food.
at like bad dates. Also, like at the end, Fennec kind of gives like Boba like a weird like look a few times in like this episode, in which like she's just like, I told you like this was gonna happen. So who
You're a big
knows?
Fennec fan. You
I
think she's gonna
love
turn?
Fennec. I don't want her to, but guess what?
Theories.
She is
Theories.
an assassin, and I love Ming-Na Wen, but like we straight up don't know enough about Fennec still. Like we haven't gotten anything like about her. Like
Interesting,
yeah,
Brent.
sure. Like this is the Book of Boba, but like Fennec is like the secondary main character, and we haven't gotten anything about her. Like where she came from, what she did.
think about like the arc in the Bad Batch, where she came from, what she did. I don't know. She looked exactly the same. So like, does she have the same experience then? Apparently so.
Yep.
So
Well-
I'm very interested to figure out what's going on.
I think Fennec is the kind of person who, at the end of the day, she knows what's right and will put her heart in the right place when it counts. Like we saw her do that with Omega.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see her do that again with Boba. I have
Yeah.
full confidence that she's loyal to him.
I do
Yeah.
not
I think
you're
think
probably
that
right,
She's going
but-
to turn on.
If she's going to
Boba.
split, it's going to be like, hey, I think you can take care of yourself at this point. I'm gonna take off. It's good,
Yeah.
good chat with you.
Hey, but we gotta have speculation. If we all agreed,
Oh, for sure.
what are we doing here? But who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But let's get to kind of close up here. Let's get to the Pikes. We talked about them a little
Yes.
earlier. The mayor's
There's a
working
lot
with
of
the
them.
Pikes, and then they show up, and the dude with the cool eye and the red bike is like, "Hey, the Pikes."
Uses
are
all
here."
those mirrors to his advantage.
Yeah, you got all.
Yeah,
of
they
them.
could-
Okay, yep.
They
That
show
was
up very
very,
Dune style. Like it felt a lot like in the latest version of Dune when they're just like all marching.
Covered
out.
off like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ship
I
there.
like the music a lot.
This isn't a shot of that, but I wanted to call this out also. So this was in like the flashback of the Pikes. Take a look at them. Take a look at the Pikes here. Ready? You ready for this? Take a look at
not.
the Pike from Solo
Whoa,
in like the
okay.
Very
mine,
dark,
the guard.
yeah.
I'm sorry it's so dark, but take this and this.
I couldn't-
That's from
I
the
don't
scene
know.
when
I mean,
Han
they
goes
are-
to steal the coaxium and
they
does
are
the whole.
Pikes.
That's what I said. But I was very excited to see like an actual guard in that version of like the outfit for the Pikes, not just the one we've been seeing for like the foot soldiers for the Pikes.
Yeah.
And I love the shot of them coming off of the Starliner, as Fennec so eloquently says.
Yeah, what the hell is that all about?
We gotta plug that in
Starliner.
there.
Pikes do
marketing.
have drip
They do.
because they're fish.
God, no, stop.
Did you say
So I-
cod? No,
Don't you hook us into more puns?
Oh my god. What am I doing?
we're reeling them
You
in
need to
tonight.
Stop, stop
Is there?
it.
I'll go around the table here. Jamie, and then Matt, and then Jack.
Yes.
Is there something bigger than the Pikes there, or do you think
Yes.
it's the Pike? The Pikes are the villains.
Yes,
Yes,
it's called the
'cause
Great White
only
Shark.
Episode 3.
Matt.
No, but yes, seriously, I do think that there's something bigger than the Pikes. What it could be yet, I'm not sure.
Yes, I also think it's going to be that shark guy from the Clone Wars. You remember that
Do you
episode?
guys think
Oh.
that Kira
I
is
think
like
it's
the
gonna be him.
Mephisto of this? Because
In the
Yes,
matter of
I
she won't
do
appear.
think-
Mephisto.
Yes.
So I'm
Probably.
not clear with or I'm not 100% caught up with Crimson Reign, but I feel like I saw something that was the first issue of Crimson Reign kind of alluded to Kira is going to die before the end of the comic run, but I'm not sure if that's actually like a thing or not.
What if someone else is ruling Crimson Dawn now?
Yeah, Crimson Dawn could have been passed on to someone else at that point in time. Like there definitely could be a line of succession there because it
That's true.
obviously isn't Maul anymore because it was Kira. But we'll
Can we
see.
ban Brent? Can we ban him?
It's
Yeah,
very
I'm
bad.
still trying to recover from that.
Can we
The
please?
Pikes.
Can
Hey,
we please get him out?
Qui-Gon said there's always bigger fish, so I think
God.
I think there's someone else out there.
So
All right, I think
Millie
we can
mentioned-
tackle this a
okay,
Oh,
little better than
we got a
this.
couple pipe dreams
Omega
here.
as the leader. That would be-
Hell
Okay.
no, Brent, you're banned. Get him out of here.
Brent, you're always welcome. We love you here. Don't listen
I
to
really,
them.
I'm
I really
kidding.
do hope
I
Cat
know,
Bane
I-
shows
I
up.
love you,
I
Brent.
want him to try and put another dent in that helmet, and for them to have a good old fashioned dust up.
I want to
Yeah.
see Cad and
Maloney wrote episode 6.
Oh,
Cad versus
It's very-
Boba
very
versus
likely.
Cobb.
why would Cobb be in there?
You just want
Because
Cobb. You just
he's
want
a
Cobb.
marshal.
Yep.
And then
Alright.
a tumbleweed goes by.
It's gotta
They-
be.
they just have-
Wait, no. Cobb's just like standing like in between them, just like in like the middle, and then we have like Cad over here, and then we have Boba over here, and Cobb's just does the 1, 2, 3, dodgeball in the middle.
It's gonna be like Han Solo and Boba Chicken, like Family Guy, and like when you know how they fight, they go through all these locations.
Yeah.
They're gonna fight so long that they're gonna fight all the way to Mos Pelgo.
Roll through.
And then they're gonna fight into the bar, and then Cobb's gonna be like,
No, that's not possible. It can't be Kix, guys.
He's with
Guys.
Saidon
It can't be
They
Kix.
know.
Kix hasn't been
just
found
bring
yet.
out your conspiracy board. We all know you have it.
Oh, he hasn't been found yet now.
Kix hasn't been found yet. If you want to know more about Kix,
That's
go to
true,
our
he's
video about
frozen.
that. It's a few months back. We actually talked with the interview. We interviewed the author for the Sidon Itano and the Kix story and Landry Q.
right.
Walker. It's back there.
Andrew
Anyway,
Q. Walker.
let's see, keep going. That's in the Hobbit trilogy. It's a very good question.
It
I haven't
doesn't
seen
hold
it
a
in a while.
candle
Do you
to
want me
Lord
to
of
get
the
mad?
Rings, but
I saw the Hobbit trilogy
How much
before
time you got?
I saw the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's what I'll say.
Oh God! And he just leaves. That was a total Chad moment. I thought you were just like, bye.
That's a
I think that it has some very, very, very interesting parallels to be drawn with the Star Wars prequels and the shift from prosthetic and physical. What's the word I'm looking for? In-camera props and effects versus the overblow of
effects.
CGI.
Yeah.
Hurts
Practical.
my
You
soul.
know what? Maybe one day we'll do a Lord of the Rings Hobbit special. We'll see.
I'll stop there. I promise.
Maybe.
Sorry, guys. This is my last
The third
episode.
movie. No, I'm sorry.
This is my last episode on.
Anyway,
I
where'd we
I
leave off?
agree. Sidon Thanos should show up because again, we don't know his full backstory.
Oh.
In our interview with Landry Walker, he says he had a lot of thoughts about like what Sidon's backstory is, but unfortunately, as of right now that we know of, Lucasfilm hasn't picked up any of those stories, and so that's still wide open what Sidon's backstory is. So maybe he'll show up.
So, I want to bring this up before we end.
Once you're gone.
Matt brought it up the other day to me because I don't see all the garbage on the internet as much as some people do.
But I do.
I'm trying not to. I
shovel that
don't look
garbage
this,
down my
for this
But-
stuff.
but-
Matt
between the
shovels
four of us-
garbage.
Between the four of us, we all see a lot of different kinds of garbage. But like, yeah, we share
Matt
that
shovels
garbage,
the garbage
though.
my way, and I
I do.
filter what I want. And he showed me something the other day that some bozo was like, "Oh, they're erasing the sequels." Those crazy folks on the internet. And then someone
Oh,
on Twitter
yeah,
that
after
was
that Mando season
pretty
2.
reputable.
Viewer
said-
Anon is his name. He's on
Yeah.
Twitter.
He said
Very
that, or
reliable
they
source.
said that, then you're gonna hate the finale or something of the show.
Hold on. Do you want me to get the actual
Sure.
quote? Because I could probably pull it up.
So
Might as well.
before okay, now that you said that, I think we're too late. But before you get this, is this actually leaky of any sense?
Yeah,
No.
this is anyway.
Nothing was
confirmed. I don't
mentioned.
want to know it.
Okay.
Nothing was mentioned.
It's nothing like concrete.
If it was
There's not
leaky,
like
I
a
would have told Matt
detail.
not to tell me.
Okay,
this is
okay.
just
Because
some
I don't want
disclaimer
anyone
meant.
in the chat to be like, oh, it's a leak. I don't want to know.
No,
'cause,
that's all that was said. They're like,
So
oh,
it was.
So what
it
was going on?
Somebody linked, basically like one of those clickbaity YouTube videos that's like, oh, this is it. The sequels are going to get erased by Book of Boba Fett, and here's why. And the viewer Anon came in and said, ha 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 ha. Let's see what you have to say after the last episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And then in the comments in the leaks subreddit, they clarified that they're not sure if it's like the last episode or the episode before that. But by the end of the series,
there'll be some
anybody who
connection of
believes
some
that
sort.
Boba is going to try to erase the sequels will be proven wrong. That is
I mean,
the
they-
takeaway.
They already tried this crap after
No, they're absolute-
the reveal
they're
of the
absolute
end of season 2.
Clowns, but
So
It's ridiculous.
let's end with this. What do you guys think it will be? What's your theory? That's gonna tie it to the sequels.
either. Sorry, I tried to pull a Jamie and I was too loud. Either Han Solo,
Han and Ben.
not
is
to be
the
confused. Han referencing Ben
popular
or something like that, or
theory,
the
right?
Knights of Ren are in Crimson Reign. If we had some Knights of Ren thing, that'd be really cool. Which was another mess on the internet
Interesting
today.
thing
but-
today.
Yeah.
Maz
maybe
Kanata, that's a good one, Millie.
Maz
Ooh,
Kanata.
it's a very good
That's a
one.
Poe,
very good one.
Poe and his Spice Runner days.
Poe.
That- you know what?
Somebody mentioned
He-
Shara Bay and Poe, who would be around
His timeline
9.
is a mess. Don't even.
Poe would
What
still be
if-
kid.
What if it's
Poe is
this?
9.
Oh, okay, never mind. I should.
Kiddo.
What if it's this,
980
guys?
Y.
Yes.
This is it.
I wasn't
Yes.
even thinking.
The show ends, the credits roll, and we get a post-credit scene that references Mando season 3, and it's Din Djarin on Takodana talking to someone.
I have one even better, right?
That'd be
Credits
cool.
roll, cut to
These
Exegol.
holoraptors.
Palpatine attached to the metal arm is like, this punk thinks he can take Tatooine. I'm going to take Tatooine. And Book of Boba
Fine.
Fett season 2 is now Palpatine trying to become the crime boss of Tatooine.
The papers of Palpatine.
There we go.
The Palpatine pamphlet.
The
Yep.
Palpatine
Season
pamphlet.
2 or season
Oh,
1.
no. Quick thought. I think that maybe it'll be Ochia Bestoon and
Another
somehow
comic, yeah.
chasing
Comic
after
reference.
like Rey's family because I think
I-
that is potential because
That's
I think.
Really
That
I
doesn't
think
happen
a.
yet.
yeah.
That doesn't happen
I think a
yet.
CGI Han and
little too early.
and
This is
young
9
Adam.
BBY. That happens in like
it happens like
20 BBY.
yeah 19
ABY,
BBY.
sorry.
But
9
hey,
ABY,
it
this
might
is
be
like
like her
20
parents though. It would be cool to see that, but I
But
doubt it.
Takodana one's pretty
I would love to
good.
see Knights of Ren or Takodana.
I
So-
honestly think Maz Kanata is the best answer. And if Han is there and maybe like a baby Ben, because I think Han would be the kind of person to bring
He's
a baby
like
to a bar.
5.
Maybe to the.
It'd
He'd
be-
bring a baby to a
what?
bar.
You
You
could
think
get, like-
Han Solo wouldn't bring his
But
kid to
5
the
isn't
bar?
a baby.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay,
It's
so
Han
he's a little
Solo.
kid.
Han
Small
definitely
What are
will.
we talking about?
Han would be giving like beer to Ben.
Yeah, so I honestly think that that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see Ben and Han at
And that's
Naz's
why
castle.
he's
I think that's-
conflicted and went to the dark side. He had fetal alcohol syndrome because he drank
Damn,
when he was a
dude.
child.
I want Boba and Han to wrestle. That's all. I want to see it. I'm
All
sorry.
right. Anyway, sorry that
Oh
got
God,
really
we got
off
off
the
the rails.
non-existent rails.
At
I didn't
least
think it was
wasn't
gonna get that
fish
far.
puns.
Any more fish jokes?
We speared you that one.
Go fish.
I could cast a net or two. Just that's weak.
Please end it. Please
I'm not
end
even-
it.
Bum bum bum
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum,
Wow.